I humbly showed you guys in my last garden video that my little back hidden garden had become overgrown with weeds. Just everywhere, in every path, all over the place. So I decided, this is Friday, May 22nd, and I decided to get out here and do something about it. But to challenge myself, I wanted to set my clock for 1 hour and see what I could accomplish. So here goes. Let's see how much I got done in 1 hour. Okay, I stopped. I had my timer going. I stopped my clock at 11:06, 1 hour. I want to show you exactly what I did in 1 hour, but I do want to rake up all the clippings because they actually have a lot of dirt in them. With this Stir-A-Po, you churning up dirt as well. And I think what I'm going to do, I hope this doesn't backfire on me, but I think what I'm going to do is rake up all these clippings and hill up my corn that's back here with it all, because it's a lot of dirt in it. I may pay the price and have some weeds around the bottom of my corn, but I'll try to stay on top of that. I tried to get everything as much as I could up by the roots, so I'm hoping some of this will just die off in the dirt. But I'm gonna hill up my corn with it, and then I will show you what I got done in 1 hour to give you an idea of what I've got left, how I did, what all you can accomplish in an hour, but yet you don't always finish in an hour, so it's more work to come. But it's at least motivated me that I can get a lot done in an hour, so I'm not as intimidated as I was by coming back here to this big weed mess. Okay, Richard needed me, so I went inside, and that was okay because I needed a much needed hydration break. I tend to sometimes, when I get into these kind of things, I just keep pushing and pushing, and then the next thing you know, I'm dying of thirst, I'm exhausted, then I end up quitting because I'm so tired or something. And so after that, I never really fully hydrate again, and sometimes I go to bed at night and I'll have cramps and everything else because I didn't just stop and simply take some breaks and hydrate. So I did that just now. Let me show you what the garden looks like though. Okay, starting at this corner back here, I got the whole back row done. I got all between all the corn done all the way to that trellis where the cucumbers are. I got all of this section weeded all the way down to where you can see it stopped. So if you just kind of base it by the trellis, I pretty much got almost half the garden done. I would probably kind of say half. I got this done down to here. I've got that to go. To me, it looks like a mountain, but I'm trying not to think about it. It's starting to get hot out here is why I'm thinking of it as a mountain. It was kind of cool and breezy. Now it's getting hot, but that's what I have left to go. I do have to stop. There's always some reason to stop. My granddaughter's car had some issues with it, and she's getting ready to go to a certification training school in Baton Rouge, and I wanted to make sure her car was in really good shape to go over there. So we've had it at our mechanics here where we live for about 2 weeks now. It's almost been there like 10 working days, and it's a lot of issues with it. Nothing terrible, but they would have to wait on parts, and then another issue would kind of come up, and then we had to wait on parts. And so finally they called me today and said every issue has been addressed and is fixed. I've got to stop, run up there and pay them because this is Friday, and go ahead and pay them and get the key to it, and then we'll have to figure out later this evening how to go get it. But that's why I kind of try to push through sometimes when I'm doing work, because I never know when something's going to come up and I just have to drop it. I have a sunny day today. Yesterday was stormy. Today it's not, so I want to push through. So I'm going to try to keep on track. I'm going to run this errand right now, and then when I get back, I'm going to try to get back on track and get this finished. It's just important to me to get this little garden done before my mom's cabin comes next week and before I'm really in the thick of things. As with most of my projects, and the best of my intentions, it never goes that way. I wanted so badly to finish this yesterday, and I got so close, but I had to stop. I ended up having to stop. My granddaughter called, and we were going to go get her car and pick it up, and she was going to be coming up here to meet me. But I was so sweaty from working on this that I had to stop and get a bath before she came. And once you're cleaned up, it's hard to want to come out here and get sweaty again, so I didn't. But this is what I got done. I got everything done yesterday, what I showed you before, except for just this. I got all of this done, all back there, around all of that back there. I got all of this done. I just simply didn't get this one last little part here. And I really could walk out here today and do it in a little bit, and I might do that. I couldn't do it a while ago though, because we actually had a rainstorm come through. You can see this dirt is pretty dark right now. It's because it's wet from the rain. But it looks so good, and I can't believe how much hope it's given me just to get out here and do this. I know it's a simple chore that I could have been maintaining as I went, but it got away from me with other things that I was working on. But now, when I walk in this little gate, I feel like I'm seeing growth and happy plants, other than the desolate looking little place I was seeing last time. I went through and planted a few more seeds though, because I'm still not happy with the coverage. This row back here is lima beans. I just left them. I'm kind of hoping that now we're having some of the humid, hot weather that we've been needing. I'm hoping these things will just pop up and go. And I think they will. They're looking really good. They're just not growing real tall, but I think they will here shortly. Where I added more seeds was in this row, because I'm just giving up on all these half runners and stuff doing anything. They just are still so leggy looking. They're green, but they're leggy looking. So I planted more seeds there, but I put the Blue Lake pole beans. I always have luck with Blue Lake pole beans. They're just one of the best, most reliable plants you can plant, and the Blue Lake bush beans too. And down here I went ahead and seeded some more of them this morning, all along this row where I've had such terrible germination with the Christmas limas and the landrace pole beans that I've planted. But there again, now that it's warming up, some of this may just take off and thrive. So it's not all lost, but I did put some Blue Lakes in there just to see if I could get them to come up. I thinned out my Onavino corn. It was actually, I had planted more than this. I thinned it out, and I may need to take a few more stalks out. But I hate to do that too early. You can always pull them out later. I want to make sure which ones are going to make it. And I actually accidentally stepped on a couple of them yesterday and knocked them to the ground. And I stood them back up, and I put dirt around them, and I'm hoping they'll hang in there. But they could end up dying because I accidentally stepped on them. So I didn't want to thin it out too much, just in case something happens. But I thought it was a pretty good idea of putting all this extra dirt there around them. It worked out good, and it gave me somewhere to put it. And now that all the weeds are gone, these striped bush beans look really good growing along in here. And they're staying green, and they're getting taller. You can tell when you're here that they've jumped up a bunch. And they look happy, and they're getting taller. I'm still having trouble with all these little mounds. For some reason, if it's a round circle mound, nothing wants to grow on it. I think I came through and planted some little bitty sweet dumpling things in here not too long ago, and I don't know if they've even had time to come up yet, but I'm about ready to ditch it and just go with something else. This one hill is successful, and then this one does have something new coming up there. That might be the sweet dumplings. Pretty sure I put some in all these hills. Let's see. Yeah, that's probably what's coming up in these hills. So maybe I'll get something out of that. But those first two down at the end, they don't have anything coming up. This one I did put a few more tomato seeds in, and those are coming up. And whatever that is over there coming up, I don't even know what it is. That right there is a pile of scrap and dirt. And these two rows on the end, I need to weed them. Whenever I get this grass out of the lanes and stuff, I'm going to just start weeding. I've kind of already partially done it, but I'm going to go through and take out all of this stuff and plant something else. Actually, I did plant something else. I went through there and put patty pan squash, I think. I put 3 in this row, kind of at the end, the middle, and that end. And on this row I put 2, but I put them like at the 3rd mark and the 2/3 mark, because the patty pans tend to spread and stuff, and so I just kind of wanted to give them a little room so they wouldn't all be lined up together. So maybe my patty pans will come up, and maybe I'll get patty pan squash back here. This little row here, I don't think I put anything in it. I had put spinach, and it just doesn't want to do anything. So I do need to replant this row. But that's what I keep doing. I just keep replanting seeds until something catches. You know, what else am I going to do? My little melitons, they're already wanting to go over the arch. That's good. They're probably going to get thicker too. I think they like the heat too. And then my cucumber plants are finally, this one's just taking off, running up the thing. And then these others over here, I can tell they're going to take. They're not going through that senescence where they're not wanting to grow or whatever. They're starting to shoot up. So I'll end up with some cucumbers back here. Well, I walked out this morning to go look at my gardens and let the dog out and everything. And I realized we had some visitors last night, or a visitor. I think it was probably a couple of visitors. And it's the first time that it's happened at my house, even though I've heard all kind of people that live around me gripe about it. And that is, I think I had wild hogs come last night. I'm pretty sure I did because they tore up my yard. They just rooted all over the place, all over this side yard, right behind my big garden. Thank goodness that I have the chicken wire around my big garden, because they didn't get in there, but they got all around the big garden. Let me show you. I started walking over here to go let my dog out over there, and I see this, and I'm like, what the heck? It's just all kind of dirt dug up. All kind of dirt. There's like, you know, it's in holes and pockets and clumps, and it's like all my St. Augustine looking grass is just tore up. It's in clumps. Right a few feet away, another spot. You can see where all these spots are. And then I kept walking over here, and this spot is a big old spot that got tore up. And it's very hard to show on camera, but this is all lumpy. It's all lumpy. It's just been rooted. It's been rooted. This was just dirt and grass yesterday, and today it's a big old tore up spot. So I keep going. Well, actually, all this got rooted up too. All of this has been rooted up. I come over here. This is the pile of logs I set over here not too long ago, and I had put a little dirt around them from topsoil that we had, but that was it. The rest of this back here was just flat leaves, just nothing big deal. Some grass growing up in it, no big deal. It is completely rooted up this morning. All of this is just like a big crater hole. It's just, there's no way squirrels did this, I don't think. It can't be squirrels. It's just a big, look at all those leaves all tufted up back there. Something just rooted through here going crazy. I don't know if they were going after acorns or what. All around my pile here, you can tell all the dirt is disturbed. This was dirt that had just been sitting here and looked like this because it had been rained on. It looked like flat dirt like that had been kind of compacted. Now it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I feel like some of the logs even got moved around. It's just everywhere. The biggest pile, this right here, is just, I don't know, they went down like a foot into this part. I've got a hole that goes down in there under that stick. All of this got rooted up. It just looks terrible. And to me, it's like damage from hogs. That's what I feel, but I wasn't sure. I texted Bubba and his wife to see if they had had any damage. They said they didn't think so, but they got on their side-by-side and went around their house looking, and they found lots of spots. I think we definitely all got visited by a little family of hogs last night. This is where all the damage was, starting from over here all the way to that tree. And here's my garden. Now, if you look from my garden back over here, towards these trees and my little flower pot here, my old wheelbarrow that I grow 4 o'clocks in. You can tell if you're here, I guess, maybe you can't tell on the camera, but they messed with all of this. All of this was flat compacted dirt, and now it is chopped up. It's just chopped up and churned up and dug in. All back here is all dug in. They didn't mess with the flowers though, but they churned up all this dirt right here. So weird, but I'm excited. I even have spots like in my front yard. That's just like little spots everywhere. But they didn't mess with my corn. They did not mess with my corn, and don't tell them about it. Just don't say nothing. I'm so excited that they didn't come over here and get in my corn, because if I was a wild hog, I would have. My sweet corn is not only tasseling, as I showed you, but it's setting ears. I've got a lot of silks coming on here, a lot of silks. And now there's no sweet corn really that I guess would tempt them too much right now. But still, I'm sure wild hogs would love to get in this patch of corn if, you know, they could, but they didn't. Well, it's Sunday and I'm finished. My project that I was going to see if I could get done in a couple of hours turned into 3 days. Some of it my fault, some of it not, with rain and whatnot, and errands. But it got done. I kind of set time limits on myself just because, you know, to kind of push myself a little bit so that I could at least jumpstart myself and get going. But life happens and you just have to roll with it. I pretty much got this garden done. I just realized I've got to weed those 2 little beds there. Those 2 little beds. I've got to weed those. I just wanted to hand weed them. I didn't want to go at it with my stirrup hoe. So that won't take me but a little bit to finish. But everything else is done. I decided to rake up my scraps from doing this section and start putting it in between these rows. And the reason is, I have decided that what I'm going to do is, instead of having all those little rows down that middle part there, I'm just going to make one long row, and I'm going to borrow some topsoil from my mom's cottage excavation and build this up. As these strike bush beans start producing and they peter themselves out, then I'm going to just take this whole area and build it up more with the topsoil and plant like a long, say 3 rows of something there, maybe some rutabagas or something as it gets towards the fall. Just something a little bit easier to worry about than having all these little rows. I have to worry about this row or that row, whether it's germinating. I'm just gonna have like a big garden down the middle. I think that'll make it a little easier on me. You live and learn, you live and learn. You plan things and then you live and learn. But in general, I'm happy. I'll have to see if those Blue Lake bush bean seeds come up that I put on my end caps, this end and the other end. I feel like they will. They're such good seeds. We'll see what happens with all these little sweet dumplings or whatever it was I planted, and we'll see if they come up, do good on those little mounds. And the rest of it doesn't look too bad once I got the weeds out of here. I just felt like this was a non-starter garden, just non-productive, which it kind of was, but I just kept planting seeds. I mean, something's got to grow. It can't be that every seed doesn't want to come up. Something's got to grow. And it turns out these strike bush beans, they're happy. They're happy and they're popping up and they're growing on all these little rows. They're doing good. My Onavino corn, which was my landrace corn, this is the 2nd year this seed would have grown on my property. It's not quite a landrace technically yet, but I'm just saying I've grown it on my property. I saved seeds, and this is those seeds that I replanted. And this corn popped up healthier and even faster than that Gerlide did. The Gerlide was not saved seeds. They were good seeds, but they were not saved seeds. So I'm looking forward to seeing if this Onavino will grow back here. And in general, if I can get something out of here, like a lot of bush beans, some cucumbers, maybe some melitons, and definitely I would love to get some corn. But if I can get something out of here, it's been a success, even though it was a slow start. I get down kind of quickly because I'm doing this kind of alone. I don't have anybody to really bounce ideas off of every day. I don't have a spouse out here helping me with all this, and it's just a project where we can spend time together or what have you. I'm doing this in between all my other stuff, and sometimes I just feel like, grow. I need you to grow. I don't have time for you to not grow. And I get kind of down because I realize the chore that I had to break time to get out here to do, if it's not successful, that means I have to find more time and more time and more time and carve it out. And I get tired sometimes. It's just like I need it to work. But you get humbled. You get taught a lesson that you don't own these seeds. These seeds are created by God, and they will grow as they're supposed to when the conditions are right, when you've done the best you can. But also weather has to come into play, soil and everything else, and you're just not 100% in control, and you just have to kind of chillax. And it's hard sometimes to chillax, but I tried. And then I said, let me get these weeds out of here and give this garden at least a shot, because if the weeds took it over, it was not going to do as good as it could. And so I did that. And now I'm sitting here looking at a garden that I'm pretty proud of. A couple of days ago, I was embarrassed by it. Now I'm pretty proud of it. I feel like it doesn't look bad. It's got potential. It's going to feed us something, so I'm going to try to cut myself some slack and just go with it. I really need some flowers back here. I'm noticing that. I don't have any, but I need some flowers back here probably. But I have to see what I can do. But in general, I think this is a nice little quiet hidden garden. That's what I was looking for back here. A little hidden garden that not everybody knows about and not everybody can see the fruits of. But that I'll know the fruits of it. And I think we're gonna get something. One reason that I love this little back garden is because I can hear the birds so good back here. It's at the back of my property, and it's a little more private than anything else in my whole yard. And I wanted to finish out this video by showing some flowers that I got to plant back here. I mentioned that I really needed flowers for pollinators, and it's really too late to plant seeds for flowers because that would take so long. I need something now. So I ran to Home Depot and I bought some begonias. I think they're so pretty. I got 2 of the pink ones and 2 of the red ones. And I'm just gonna put them here and there in this little garden. And I think it's just gonna kind of be the icing on the cake that makes me enjoy coming back here and just kind of finishes off this little project that I was working on. I'm gonna say project well done. Might have taken me longer than I thought to get it done, but that's okay. I love my begonias. I planted one in one of those mounds that just won't have anything else grow in it for some reason. I've got one back there. I put the 2 red ones in that new little area where I put some of the topsoil. And then I put the other one over here in the corner. I just wanted to balance out the pink on one side to the other. And they'll hopefully be happy where I put them. And it sure has made me feel like this has some beauty to it back here now. I'm satisfied with this whole job. Really wasn't thinking about getting that done so quickly. I was so down when I did the little video on it the other day. But now I'm just feeling like this is a lovely little garden. And I will say, when I'm feeling hopeless sometimes, It is possible just to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and get busy and get her done. I'm not the most motivated person sometimes to do that because I'm always thinking of other things I could be doing or what I maybe should be doing. And sometimes these little tedious things like weeding, it's like, okay, let me back burner that. But then when every time you walk back here and it depresses you because it's not done and it's getting out of hand, and then you take control and you get it done, boy, that's a feeling that you just can't replace. You can't replace it. You accomplish something. And I hope that these plants appreciate it. I hope that they continue to flourish back here. I think I've hit upon some things that will grow back here. And I'm trying to do the best I can with them without losing them. This is Lainey from Hilltop Home Place, officially signing off now. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.